The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here's Brandon.
All right, Friday here. Of course, it's where we close with a song where we talk about a music video, which is in conjunction with
The summer of 82 at 40.
And now back here again to discuss yet another music video. One of the hosts of the Halloweenies podcast. One of the hosts of the Windy City Double Features podcast, Cheap Tracks. He may have more podcasts by the time this drops.
It may be.
Oh, of course, Music Box and Horse Drive-In programmer and Rock Island Public House man of the hour, Mike Vanderbilt.
Thank you for having me back, Brandon. And thank you for one of the reasons I started the Cheap Tracks podcast is because I don't get to talk about music as in depth as I'd like to. I'm kind of known as a movie guy, in social media circles and everything because of Halloweenies. But quickly, one of my favorite things to do on Halloweenies was when we were doing a movie that had a pop soundtrack to kind of dive into the history and educate myself. Like I know stuff, right? To learn more, and that's what's been fun about doing this series with you is learning more bits of trivia that I can impress my friends with.
Gotcha.
Or just aggravate people. Somebody asked Ashley once on Twitter. Ashley, my bartending partner from Rock Island Public House, do you listen to any of Mike Vanderbilt's podcasts? And she says, no, I listen to that motherfucker run his mouth far too much as it is.
Fair enough. He lives rent free in my head. Not for that reason.
Well, it's like if you do see me tending bar, I'm usually working out a bit for one of my podcasts. The other day, what were we talking? I can't remember what Ashley was sitting on the other side of the bar and I stopped by and she goes, is this a bit? I'm like, it might be. She goes, yeah, it needs a little bit more work.
You're not alone. I do that. I do that in, like, before I write reviews and stuff. Like I'll text with one of my movie chat groups or something and be like, start throwing ideas I'm spitting, and then it'll like wind up there. And one of my friends was when I lived in Los Angeles, I worked with Maranzio Vance. We used to sit together. He was a stand-up comic, and like he was working on bits through normal chat and stuff that would wind up in his stand-up act, which you could tell he's working on. But yeah,
I'm gonna do. You know what? Hopefully, by the time this ends, I've been constantly daring myself, and people have been daring me to finally try stand-up comedy because it was always a dream of mine, and I haven't figured out like what my bit is gonna be.
Gotcha. Yeah, you gotta have
not sure
some edge.
Yeah, I don't know. Tools have already been taken. Tim Allen kind of put the kibosh on
that. There you go. True. And speaking of music, one thing I've been contemplating for my show for year 3 is possibly doing episodes that are like just to look at an album track by track and talk about it for an episode. So I don't know. Maybe folks.
I think it's a great idea.
Could do that. Thinking about that. So today, this track that we do have, Only the Lonely, comes to us from the new wave band The Motels, the lead singer from a single from their third album, All for One, which would later be a pop group in the 90s, right?
I remember them. Yeah, I swear, right?
Yes, that was it. Yeah. This song peaked at number 9 on the Hot 100, finishing 29th from the year, and was number 27 on the adult contemporary track and number 10 on mainstream rock. So,
I don't
Motels for the listeners, I just want to put it out there. It may be a band that they're like, I don't know, I don't remember. Go type in a song called Suddenly Last Summer. You'll be like, oh, okay, that's that band.
That song. I always thought they were British.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think
that's what the new wave bands, you're always like, yeah, they're probably British.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's like there's a lot of things that I was almost going to start a Twitter prompt. Like, what's something that feels British but isn't, because like I have no reason for this, but Phantom of the Paradise always feels very British to me.
It does, and it's De Palma.
And it's De Palma, and it's shot in Dallas, fucking Texas. You know, like it couldn't be any less.
Well,
British.
Paul Williams, he's not British, but he gives a British vibe.
Right? Like there's things that feel British that aren't British.
Jessica Harper, who's in Suspiria, that is a Italian movie, but you're like, she's European, right? No,
right.
No. So yeah, I get that.
But they're very much American. They were formed in Berkeley, California.
Yeah. The songs, this song, they credit the success to the video we're talking about. They say that's what
what catapulted them to success.
This is what catapulted the song. The song they don't think would have been successful without this video.
It is a cool tune, but the video is very distinct. It again, like we were talking about, kind of like chasing trends or setting the trends, and I do feel like this video kind of sets a lot of the trends with its stylishness that came to music videos. And I think we owe that a lot to my favorite fun fact from this episode, that it was directed by Russell Mulcahy.
Yes. You want to tell them who that guy is?
Well, Russell Mulcahy is an Australian film director who I knew because of I've always recognized him for Highlander 2, The Quickening.
Well, the first Highlander too.
Oh, he do the first one too?
Yeah.
I forgot that. Okay. And Razorback, which is not the ending of that movie is far better than the rest of that movie, because it should be Jaws on land about a giant fucking razorback boar, but it's just not that good. But he kind of got his start in music videos, which is something you don't really see anymore. Right. Because in the 80s and 90s, so many feature film directors that became very good directors started out directing music videos. But listen to this. AC/DC. I mean, Australia, right? Eventually, if you're Australian, you're going to end up associated. 10cc, who we discussed on a previous episode. The Vapors turning Japanese. Kim Carnes, Betty Davis Eyes. Like, these are iconic music videos of that era.
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Rod Stewart, Tonight I'm Yours.
We talked his video for Billy Joel's Pressure on the show last year at one point too, but I don't think I went into depth about Mulcahy too much at that time.
Directed The Shadow, the 90s superhero adaptation, but also directed the Gangbusters. There's a song called Original Sin, written by Jim Steinman, performed by Taylor Dane, and Russell Mulcahy also directs the video. And that's a Gangbusters fucking tune.
Yeah. I will say, Highlander, the first one, it is a musical experience. I think it's overlooked when there's finding appreciation for that film, because they have Queen write all the music around it, but there's a movie has a rock and roll score, like right. Yes,
it's rare that it happens and that it's done well, but I think we can owe a lot of that to Russell Mulcahy, probably having worked with them and like knowing how to direct, how to choreograph, I suppose, things to music, to set to music, right? He,
unlike Bohemian Rhapsody, he correctly used the song Who Wants to Live Forever in a movie. A moment that still cracks me up when I think about it. Have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody?
No.
The one where Freddie Mercury's lip syncs the whole time?
No desire.
Well,
no desire.
So get this, Mike.
Here, let me whine about rock biopics for a minute.
All right, I'll tell you what I find funny after you.
Let me just get this out. More rock biopics should stop covering the whole career and just focus on an important moment in that band's life. Let's get Springsteen recording Nebraska. Let's get Prince recording Dirty Mind. Let's get this laser focus on one particular era.
Any biopic should do that. It should, because you'll get everything, that person, that band, that everything is from that moment. It'll all come out. But every biopic does not need to be, they were born on this day, they went through this, here's all the greatest, it's the greatest hits. That's boring. There's the thing. They should focus on one spot that's important. I 100% agree. The Bohemian Rhapsody part that cracked me up. So it's after Freddie Mercury finds out he has AIDS or whatever, or not AIDS. Well, he had HIV at the time. And he goes and he gets up and it's like this boring morning and with this sad bastard, and he's looking at himself in the mirror and they're playing Who Wants to Live Forever. And I'm like, this song was written about immortals chopping their heads off. This was written for fucking Highlander. It's not about you're making a Queen movie. You should know this. You should know this. I died. I was laughing so hard. I was like, this is no. Oh, but we give Oscars to lip syncing too. So, but yeah, so the song is about empty success and like being popular or not feeling it at home. Like it's very much it's the same kind of subject matter as a later song. Blink-182's Adam song was very much about that. But yeah, I was reading about what it was.
I was not expecting a Blink-182 connect.
Yeah, they're basically about the same thing. Like she had some critical acclaim success, and then like she hadn't recovered from her parents had died. She hadn't felt better from that yet, and it was just a contradiction of worlds that she was living in. Like she was a star, but not feeling like she was a star. Martha Davis.
Yeah, she was because she wrote the song.
Yeah,
she wrote the song. That's worth noting.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold Fox and looking good in this video. Kind of got like a 1940s femme fatale look going on.
It wants to be 80s Casablanca. That's what this video.
But that's one of my favorite. I love.
It's good stuff.
80s, like 1940s, 50s, 60s via the 80s. That's like one of my favorite aesthetics. A lot of coral, a lot of sea foam.
Smoky rooms.
I love smoky rooms. You know, I don't know if we've ever talked about this on this show.
Okay.
One of my favorite things from the 80s, anyway, it intersects with music videos a little bit, was Michelob's 1988 The Night Belongs to Michelob campaign.
Okay.
Do you remember these commercials?
I might. I'm not sure.
They were always set around
6 at that time.
They were always set around New York or like the major downtown area, and they were in smoky bars and hot people like looking at each other's in bars, and they would always get like they had Genesis or Phil Collins or Eric Clapton playing a tune, like a rock tune over it.
Okay.
They were very moody in their atmosphere.
I think,
and and they're always set around nightlife, right? A lot of neon, a lot of rain drenched streets, all the neon reflecting off of it, and it just made fucking nightlife look cool. And it's like, I think it may have made me want to become a bartender, because I thought that's what my Friday nights were going to look like throughout the rest of my life. They maybe a little bit, but this video definitely has that aesthetic. Well, because the Michelob campaign was obviously a reaction to music video culture in the 80s, especially with the use of the rock bands. But it's a great ad campaign, one of my favorites, and I definitely can see the influence from on that. I
mean, it's got a very Tony Scott look to this video.
Yes, Tony Scott. Like everything's smoky, everything's orange. You
got the fans.
It's heightened. It's stylish. There's aesthetics. And I like that. I'll take that over, neorealism any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. That's one of the reasons I love that RRR movie everybody talks about when I saw it.
I haven't seen it, but I hear it's fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah. It does not apologize for a single thing it is, and I love that.
Katie Reif, our friend, friend of the show, described it as like, so it'd be like if this movie was made in America, it'd be like, what if Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin turned into fucking tigers?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was so good. Oh man, that was a good thing. And the funny thing is, I took my son to that one just on he needs something to do today. Like I showed him the trailer. It's 3 hours. And he's like, yeah, I'll go. He loved it. So I was like, all right, that's good.
That's cool. How old is he? 13?
He's 10.
He's 10?
Yeah.
And that's cool because that you're introducing him to the world of, the world of cinema, like true world cinema.
Yeah.
But you're not taking him to some boring ass shit that a kid ain't going to enjoy.
Right.
Like you're taking him to the cool action picture.
Yeah. He nudged me at part of the movie. He goes, can I swear right now? I'm like, yeah, sure. Go. What do you guys say? He goes, those are the two most badass dudes I've ever seen in a movie before. Like, it's like, all
awesome.
right. And he's watching a movie. He's 10. He's 4th grade, watching a movie in Hindi and just loving it. I'm like, you're better than me, son. I don't know that.
Yeah, it took me a while before I was watching Hindi movies. And even then, like, I'm like, couldn't this be an hour and a half?
I mean, like, foreign to the US films, like it took Run Lola Run for me to finally get it. That was the one that unlocked me to checking everything else out.
To the whole world of cinema.
Of cinema. That I was like, give me it all.
So back to this video, that I wanted to talk about the bar itself.
All right.
With the lighted top, because I mean, obviously that's a nod to The Shining, right?
Yeah, and the people appearing, and that's got to be somewhere in the mindset, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, this is very much like, if you check out those Night Belongs to Michelob commercials, this is you can definitely see the line. Like, there's a straight line between this. Good song, great video. Yeah, I think this is a cool one.
Yeah, I noticed the editor, Doug Dowdle.
Okay.
He directed Rick Springfield and Iron Cara videos, and he did Bonnie Tyler. So our director, McKay, does Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart. This guy directs Holding Out for a Hero video.
Another
they shared
Jim
a Bonnie
Stein,
Tyler, yeah.
And I think both Jim Steinman as well. I could be wrong on Holding Out for a Hero.
Okay. Well, he edited some other videos. He did Madonna's Into the Groove, and 3 Billy Joel ones, Pressure, which McKay directed. He did Piano Man and Allentown.
Piano Man too, huh?
Yeah.
I guess Piano Man, you can see the line between. You can see the line though, with the smoky bar room, but Pressure, you definitely you can see that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like when you think of because you got to remember, for the listeners, I know you remember that a lot of critics were not necessarily kind to directors who came from music videos because they saw it as all flash.
Yep.
All style, no substance. But I like style. There's nothing wrong with that. It's better when there is substance.
It speaks visually. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. It gives character. And the last thing, the notable thing I had this guy. He was the supervisor for special video material on Streets of Fire, the Walter Hill movie.
Oh, okay.
Which, so if you put 2 and 2 together, that goes with this shit.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because Walter Hill is a director who, because he got his start earlier, in the 60s and 70s, he never had to go the route of making music videos.
Right.
But having seen Streets of Fire, obviously, big fan of that movie.
That movie's awesome.
Oh, so cool. And, enjoying Crossroads as well, another good Walter Hill rock and roll picture that I would have liked to seen what Walter Hill could have done with music videos, because I think it would have been
get that with Streets of Fire a little bit, but no, totally.
Like if he actually had to, if he, after Streets of Fire flopped, instead of kind of floundering for the next couple of years, there's a couple gems in there, but he did struggle after that. That one kind of took the wind out of his career. I think if he went to music videos, I think he would have turned out some real cool stuff.
Oh yeah, he'd have crushed it. Yeah, he's perfect. I mean, he's the guy. If anything, he's the guy they're copying. If you think about it, so maybe that's why things look the way they do, is that they were copying like a Walter Hill, and being like, make it like Streets of Fire, or
and it's notable that Duran Duran keeps coming up on this series that we're doing.
They were huge at the time.
I mean, you want to talk about a music fucking video band? That's a band who I don't like them as much as I like their look. I have never enjoyed their music, like outside of like a handful of the singles, as much as I enjoy kind of their style.
Yeah. And their music's been used in movies in clever ways. There's the Daniel Craig movie, Layer Cake, was it? And they did Ordinary World.
I'm familiar with that one, but I have not seen it.
It's the most not Guy Ritchie. It's not a Guy Ritchie movie, but it might as well be. Is it Matthew Vaughn's first? I think it might be Matthew Vaughn.
I like him.
Did that one. But he uses Duran Duran in a clever way in that movie.
Matthew Vaughn, good soundtracks. It was because of him I really got into Brian Ferry, because he did the Kingsman movies. Yes.
Yeah. No,
I always get him and Reeves confused because they came around at the same time.
Yeah. I love Matthew Vaughn. It's funny, he kept leaving like projects that would have sequels, but the Kingsman's the one, like, I guess that's the one he sticks with. But one interesting thing, he was like courted. He was one of the directors courted to do Star Wars Episode 7 when Disney took over. And I was really excited about that. I'm like, well, that's a guy who could do, like, he could get it and do new stuff to it too. And I like his style, but it did not.
That's too bad. I would have liked that. I mean, I am 50-50 on the last Jedi. But I think maybe he would have been a better fit than Ryan Johnson.
I love Last Jedi, so I guess I'm a lover of that movie. So
a whole other show.
A whole other show
right there.
That's that territory that goes into the Star Wars comes up. But I think
that's the first time we referenced Star Wars this whole series. So that's impressive for both of us.
That's way to go.
Well
way
done.
to go. My whole thing overview of that for you, Mike, quickly is like, I don't get mad at the Disney thing. I think the course of the movies they've made, the television shows, it's a different discussion. Over the movies they made, the 5 of them, I think everybody at least got one that they enjoyed, and that's a pretty good batting average. Because Star Wars is a tight, really, So
I think mine was Solo. Solo was the one I was like,
those are good.
Oh, to me, I watched that one. I said, oh, they finally got it right. You know,
and a lot of people saw a different one and said they got it right. You know, like
absolutely. But I mean, that's what happened.
I don't think anyone watched Rise of Skywalker and thought they got it right, but that's my
I
rib
didn't
right there.
mind Rise of Skywalker. No, they got a lot right in Rise of Skywalker. It's just too little, too late for me.
There's a story they're never going to tell about making that movie. That's the one. That's the funny thing. There's a story they're never going to tell.
Yeah,
they're gonna tell us, well, this is what we play. This is what we're gonna do. We all had a good time. Like, I don't know.
It's just amazing how a franchise that large, how they didn't have a plan. Like, just astounding to me.
Yeah, well,
astounding.
George
anyway.
kind of didn't, but the Motels had a plan in this this video. I think with
great. Like I said, I just really did, like. What can I say? This is the visual medium. The style in this thing is great.
They have I like the hair and the wind for the guitar and sax solos that go on there.
Big fan of the fan.
Yes.
As much as I love the fog machine ain't shit without the fan.
Yeah, she gets a guy who like randomly comes up and kisses her. She's like, no, off. She's very, very simple. But the basic premise is like all these people are having a good old time at the bar, but her. Like it's the best nightclub in 1930. 20s, I don't know, but it's just not working out for her. And it's
very moody.
Well, one of the funniest thing is like the video. So the song has guitar and sax solos, but every time one of them occurs, they focus on the string section in the house band that's played up there. I'm like, that's not the right instrument. I'm like, if they got strings, they have horns somewhere. Like, so that was kind of a funny thing. But
blame it on the editor. Blame it on Mr. Streets of Fire.
Right. Yes, and we talked about the bartender. Had to be shining.
That's a cool. I like the lighted bar top. Although in reality, that would be a bitch to keep clean.
Oh, I bet. I bet. This video did win best performance in a music video at the American Music Awards.
I don't know. I don't think that award lasted very long, did it?
No.
It's like one of the only times I've ever read that.
Yeah. I don't think some of them added music video categories that would later die, like the Grammys did. Then the VMAs were about this year or the next year away from.
Oh yeah, Grammys first awarded 1988, last awarded 1989.
Yeah. There we go.
And it's so funny that bands still shoot music videos because I love it. As somebody who came up in that era, I mean, watching music videos was a treat. And I guess you watch them on YouTube, but it's just weird to think that there isn't just a channel of music videos playing all the time anymore.
Right. I mean, but yeah, we had MTV, VH1, BET. There was the box where you could call and pay for a music video to play.
I was just talking about the box and I don't know if that was a national thing or a Midwest thing. I'm sure there were variations, but across the country. Yeah. But the box holds a very special place in my heart. And I talked about it on the Playboy podcast because we were doing the September 1985 issue.
Okay.
Madonna's the cover girl, but she didn't pose for Playboy. These were old pictures from 79 and 80 that they bought and put in there. So the box, let's go back to 1992. Madonna is going through her erotica phase. Yeah. And MTV will not play the erotica video. And if they do, they only play it late at night. But one Sunday, late at night, I'm watching the box. The erotica video came on. And this may be TMI for some of your listeners, but that was the first time I masturbated and knew what I was doing. Like, You know, because when you're for those who don't know, for the ladies out there, this might be the same case for you, but like when you're a man, when you're a young man, when you're that age, like, you don't know how to do it. And you do all sorts of wild shit. And are like, you're like, oh, you don't realize how that feels good because you don't realize that you were just masturbating.
Yeah.
That Madonna was the first one. And it was, you know, the erotica video, which probably set the stage for a lot of perversions I have later in life. That was like the first time I said, I know what I'm doing and I'm going to fucking do it. But the thing about the box was so many people would get in trouble. It was like because it was like essentially 900 number.
Right. Yeah.
You would call it so many times because you'd watched that video a million times. But I don't understand because I was 12 and I figured out, well, what you do is you call. I got to ask my mom, hey, can I call this video in? You know, like Jurassic Park by Weird Al Yankovic. I call it in, and then I taped it. And then I just watched it as many times as I wanted. Like,
bam.
Like, oh, come on. We were well off enough, but we weren't rich. Like, everybody had a VCR by 92 or 93.
Yeah.
Come on. But the call, like, you know, you heard countless stories about that, about some teenager would call a million times and, you know, the bill would come through. The phone bill would come through to the box and it'd be, you know, $400, $500.
But also, you could just wait and some of them would play. Well, but there was the danger that someone would call and request one in the middle of the one you were watching and immediately end it and play the one that someone called in.
Well, the box was cool. I love when that comes up because I don't know if that was a national thing or a strictly because where did you grow up?
Indiana. So
yeah, so we're close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew one thing I used to do. Did you ever do this too? Like I would take a VHS tape and I would just like let it record MTV in the wee hours of the night and see what I caught in the next day. Like I found like liquid television that way because it didn't used to air during prime time stuff.
Right. I did love of course
old videos, like rare video. Like I would just, you know, throw it out there, wake up in the morning and like fast forward around, see what I caught. Anything crazy. Here
was something I did. And this is how like, it's so weird when you look back on what you had to do to get what you can just get on a Blu-ray now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just talking about this on the Halloweenies, or not. Well, I was just talking about this a couple months ago on the Halloweenies podcast when we were covering Army of Darkness, and I was so excited for that movie to come out. And for your younger listeners, you used to not have YouTube, so if you wanted to see a trailer or a commercial for a movie, you just had to see it.
Yeah.
So I would figure out like what shows they were showing Army of Darkness commercials during. So I'd be like watching like reruns of Cheers at 4:00 in the afternoon and taping the commercials, trying to catch the Army of Darkness commercial so that I could watch it incessantly, preparing myself.
I would record Entertainment Tonight because Entertainment Tonight would be your place to debut trailers.
That was it. And Entertainment Night was worse because they would only show like a little bit of it sometimes. They'd cut off the front and back end, you know?
Or it'd be like right at the end and they'd be like, oh, well, that looks like fun. No!
You did cut out the money shot, goddamn Mary Hart. Why? Yes. John Tesh, you big dumbass.
Yeah.
Big motherfucker. Round ball rock motherfucker. Oh yeah, man. You like, but now it's just so funny when I look back on it. Like, and the same thing. Like, I'd watch Entertainment Tonight or Hollywood Insider on CNN, and just, you know, when it was a movie that I was interested in or that I was looking forward to, be it like Army of Darkness and The Weekend at Bernie's too. And it's all like in that 92 to 93 phase, like just trying to collect all this stuff. And now you can go on YouTube and find it all. There were other weirdos who were out there doing it.
Right. Yeah.
That puts you at ease a little bit.
But they're the weirdos that took the time to like digitally transfer it and upload it to YouTube.
Yeah. I've since lost all those VHS. I'm pretty sure my mom tossed most of those because a lot of it was just, it's VHS. It was junk, you know, who knows what was on it. Well, I don't think I lost anything good.
I told Jessica Osmond, who's on the show a lot. She's the voice of my MC on the show too. Like she had this show, what was his name? Max Headroom. What's the actor?
Matt Frewer.
Matt Frewer. He had a short-lived sitcom called Dr. Forgotten.
Okay.
And she
don't remember that one. And I usually remember that junk.
She had every episode on VHS. Like she watched with her dad or something like, but she had still has it. And like, it's nowhere. Nobody do this shit exists. You look up the streaming things, like it just doesn't come up. It's on IMDb, and stuff, but it's never been on DVD. Never, it like went for like
never got an official VHS.
Yeah, I'm
release.
like, you could be a hero. Upload that shit. Upload it, and now it's on some streaming service has it now.
Oh, some streaming service, yes. But that's work.
Yeah,
fucking streaming that shit, or rather uploading that shit, digitizing that shit. That's work.
Yeah. I was like, you got a gem there. But now you can watch it on, I think, Tubi or something. It's on one of those.
Of course, Tubi, the best.
Tubi's the best streaming service. Like the free services are like the best one. Like Tubi, the libraries, Canopy, and Hoopla are very good.
And it's so funny. That's where that generational gap comes in, because these kids were like, "Oh, but you got to watch ads." I'm like, yes. We used to call them commercials, and we used to look forward to them because we were so stupid. We had favorite commercials that we liked to see.
And I could get up and piss or go grab something and come back. That's
how I use it. Like I like the ads because it's like, oh, time to fuck around on the phone. Time to, take a piss, time to go get a snack. And I don't pause it. I try to run back, like the good old days.
Yeah, I have the 99. I have Hulu for 99 cents a month because I catch the Cyber Monday deal every year and renew. Nice. But it's you have to have ads, and people are like, oh, you have Hulu with ads? I'm like, hell yes, I have Hulu with ads. I'm paying 99 fucking cents a month. I can sit through the 90-second commercials, and I like them because I can go whew for a sec. Chill.
The problem is most of the ads stink, though. Like
they're horrible. There's no good ads. But
I was watching old commercials, and like I'm just talking. We were talking about that 1988 Michelob Night Belongs to Michelob campaign. There's no artistry in advertising anymore.
No.
Or maybe I just sound like an old man. I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I mean, Jessica and I do a segment where we just talk about old commercials. So there is an art to them. There's a
bring me on for the Night Belongs to Michelob.
I'll pop one in. I'll find it, but we'll do beer commercials. And
you're gonna love the night. You.
All right.
You are gonna love the Night Belongs to Michelob.
All right. I will let Jessica know the next time we will do beer commercials, and I'll bring you on for that. So cool. But this is a lot of added extra, very 80s related stuff. So I think we're good. We're on topic. Yes.
That's the fun of this show. Mm-hmm. Anybody can go read Wikipedia.
Oh yeah. Right. It's experience.
But we're giving you the experience. We're giving you, insight into our personalities, into our lives.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like. It's definitely, and it's, it's called the
Brandon
Peters
Show.
Show.
When I masturbated for the first time.
I love it. It's gonna be the clip to sell the show on.
I do love it.
All right, but Mike, I appreciate you coming on for Summer of '82 at 40. Your stint's been great.
This has been a blast.
Yeah, and of course we already have plans for your returns for like Masters of the Universe. Now you're on a commercial episode that you would be on one of those. G.I. Joe the movie. So
that's right, we do have the G.I. Joe the movie.
G.I. Joe the movie. Those are some of the ones you've thrown in the hat there that I'm very eager to get to. But until then, this August, what you got going on? Just the normal, the usual.
August already. One of my favorite. Well, growing up, August was one of my favorite months of the year because that's when the movies would release all the good junk, all the good trash used to come in August. But August is always very melancholy because as much as I am a man who loves seasons, I really do enjoy summertime. And if it's August, I'm probably regretting that I didn't take more advantage of the summertime months, like I say I'm going to do every year. But
gotcha.
You can always check me out on Halloweenies. You can always check me out on Windy City Double Feature. You can always check me out. Cheap Tracks, still rocking and rolling. And of course, Centerfold, revealing culture through Playboy magazine. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Instagram. Be happy to follow you back.
All right. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Brandon4KUHD, written work at WhySoBlue.com. Scott and I return Monday again. We're, I think, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Friday the 13th, and the Star Wars re-release are this coming episode. If I'm wrong, well, you gotta wait, or you already heard it. So hey, cool. Yes, all the films that shaped the summer of '82 right here. So till Monday, stay full positive.
The summer of '82 at 40.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. The Summer of 82 at 40 and News of the Moment themes by Pres Maxson. Additional information on this and other episodes at thebrandonpetershow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail@thebrandonpetershow.com. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.